Hey, hi everybody. Hi Linda.
Hey, Steve. Hi, everyone.
I changed my mind. Hi Roman. Hi Reagan.
Hello.
And hi
Hello.
Lauren. And hi Rue. Now, may as well bring up our viewer guest. So, hi Lori.
Hi, guys.
Lori.
All right. So, we got an action-packed show today. And it's kind of so action-packed. We want to let you guys know that if you're sensitive to content, now's your time to exit because this is gonna it's just the way it is. All right, here we are Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Roman time, and and what we have here, I think let's go right into Linda. Do you have I think you have an update on Betty White, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, Betty's doing well. She's had some issues with some hot spots that she's having, we think, from some of the foods that were introduced to her recently. So I know Reagan has been really working with Ellen on changing up some of the ingredients and switch some foods out for others, and we'll see how she does. But other than that, she's doing really well. She progresses every single day.
Awesome. Okay. There's our Betty update. Now we wanted to talk about Linda wants to talk about our giveaway drawing.
Yes, our giveaway drawing tonight is a 1-month bark box. And for an additional small cost, they'll double the box. So you will have a double bark box for 1 month for tonight's drawing.
That is correct. Hashtag GPRM. Put it into the comments, and that enters you into the drawing.
Yep.
So, and once again, if you just signed in, this is going to be a little graphic tonight. Okay. We have a dog that's been abused. Okay. So, and we have a disclaimer down there, and pay attention to that one. Now,
I want to add something to the drawing. Sorry, I need to add something to the drawing. One drawing you can add for a free class tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes. It's an adoption, basically, workshop.
I have no problem doing a second drawing. It's simple.
Good. Just in case we have 2 winners, right? Plus, what I already told you guys in the past, that every week we do a half-hour consultation, whoever joins the team.
All right. So really now get that hashtag GPRM into the comments, and so you can win a bark box, or you can win a session with Roman tomorrow. A class, right, Roman? Is that what you said?
A class tomorrow and a session anyway.
Okay. Wowzer.
Thank you, Roman.
What's that?
I said thank you, Roman.
Yes, thank you very much, Roman. So I'll tell you what, that bark box is cool stuff now.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
In case you have a problem with the algorithm, we can do hashtag holistic dog training. On these people can either join the class or the event.
Yep. So
if that
Janet.
works out.
Okay. Oh, hi, Janet. Well, we've got a lot of cool people on here tonight. Now, so I want to go ahead and just briefly and let's talk to Lori just for just a few seconds here, and or however long. And hi, Lori.
Hi, guys.
So where are you at here? Let me turn this back on here so we know. Oh, it is on. You're in New York, aren't you?
Yep, upstate New York, up near Rochester.
Yeah. How do you know us?
Well, about a year and a half ago, I was asked to adopt what I thought was a Pyrenees. I've got 8 acres. I've got a Newfoundland. I've got lots of spots to walk and run, and I've got a nice big fenced in yard. So I said, sure, let's give it a try. Thinking that Pyrenees are a lot like Newfoundlands because they're big white fluffy dogs instead of big black fluffy dogs. Well, boy, was I wrong. So after some trials and tribulations and calling the shelter that I got them from a few times, thinking, oh, I cannot do this, I was given a few names. Carla, Suzanne, and then a wonderful guy named Steve. And I did a couple FaceTimes with Steve and was lucky enough to have Steve come to my house and help me work with Mr. Tibbs. He was snapping at my noof, and my noof was starting to snap back instead of just taking it. So I was getting nervous that there might be a pretty good sized fight ensuing. So
But it looked like things are,
keep them here.
that video looks like things are a little different now.
Yeah, they definitely are. Thanks to all your wisdom and your help. I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it.
Well, that's my job, is keep dogs in their homes. Now,
Well, I like your job.
the thing with Lori, and that really that I would like to touch on, is not once did I hear from her, get this dog out of this house. What I heard from Lori was, I need a hand here. I need some help. And that's what we did. Okay.
Mhm.
So now I understand that you volunteer with a rescue out there somewhere yourself, don't you?
Yep, it's actually up in Connecticut, about 6 hours more northeast, a Newfoundland place. And I'm actually going to get my first foster tomorrow, a 7-year-old spayed female that they're with a family. There was 3 of them, and I got one 2 weeks ago, and she went to the rescue up in Connecticut, and a male is going down in Ohio, I believe. And then I'm getting the 7-year-old female tomorrow. She's got a little mouth issue with a tumor. So my vet's going to work on her and try to fix her all up. And hopefully she goes to a wonderful home after she's vetted. So I'm excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
Yeah. And your rescues, it's been around for a while. I know about them. And it's called the Newfoundland place, or that Newfoundland place.
Yep, that Newfoundland place. Kathy and Chrissy and all the crew up there are great. So
Yeah. Okay.
thank
Cool.
you for putting that shout out to them. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna move forward with the show here, and you're gonna stay right up here with us. And now we have our star, and we have Rue, and we have foster mom Lauren, and wow. And I've just now started to look at the comments. And by the way, Elizabeth said that she's originally from upstate New York, just so you know, Lori. You might know her, you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
So, and Addie, I just wanted to let you know here that it's hashtag GPRM, not hashtag GPRescue. That won't enter you. Hashtag GPRM will enter you. Okay. So, Lauren, wow. What in the heck have you got going on here? This is very interesting. Is this your first foster officially?
Yes.
Okay. Heck of a first
But what
foster.
about Ollie?
Yeah, I was going to say she fostered
Oh.
Ollie too. Mhm.
And then
And
Ollie had
Foster failed.
then Ollie had puppies.
Yes.
So actually
Yes.
your first foster was a whole bunch of cane corsos. So
Yes.
when you first got Rue, that was a little difficult now, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Linda, can you let us know what Lauren was going through? Because as a mother, that had to have been kind of tough.
Yeah, I mean, she's not into rescue like, of course, I am. But she sees what I do, and to explain to her, something that was hard for me to explain myself. So when you have to tell someone else what she's going through, it was difficult.
Yeah.
It's sad, but I mean, she's old enough to understand that it happens.
Yeah.
But it was still difficult. Sure.
And man, and then what was going on with her? There's that
I'll tell you.
happened. I'm not there, and
No.
this really troubles me.
When I picked her up that night, and my volunteer met me, she said to me, she doesn't walk. And my first thought was, man, did something happen to her? Did she get hit by a car that I don't know about? Because, you get dogs all the time and they don't tell you the whole story. And we got her, and the volunteer took her out of the truck, and she instantly fell to the ground. So the only way I knew that she did walk is because she got up and walked a couple steps. I watched her, and then she fell to the ground. And she was like that for a while. I know that the owner that had her, I do know in the beginning of her having her, she walked just fine. And then it was about a week in, and she had a towel wrapped underneath of her back legs, and she was walking her that way. When I got her home, Steve, I checked her over. Of course, I was looking at her ears and her mouth, and she had rolled over.
And then what?
That's when I knew. I called Reagan the next morning, and I said to her, I said, I had the most awful thought, and I hated even thinking it. But what I saw was nothing that I've ever seen in my life.
For the viewers, if you don't want to see this, now's the time to turn your head. This is what Linda saw. Okay. What are we looking at, Linda?
What we're looking at is a lot of swelling of the vaginal area, a lot of discharge, and pain. So it was a little bloody. I hate to even talk about it, because it was so hard for me to see that. And then I'm saying to Reagan, I'm saying, my gosh, Reagan, Reagan, we were saying, I hate to even say it or think it. Who wants to think something like that? And then it's what it was. It was what I thought.
And then you got mad, didn't you?
Damn mad, angry,
And you
blinded with rage. Yes,
yeah. And the first thing you did was say, we got to get her to the vet.
absolutely. She went to the emergency vet the very next morning. And, we could talk a little about this later on, Steve, but, most veterinarians either don't know a whole lot about this, or they just don't want to put it in their findings. I don't know if it has something to do with legalities or whatever it is. But when I said to the veterinarian multiple times, it looks like someone has hurt her there, her response to me was, well, I wasn't there. But she treated her as such. She said certain key words to me, that the amount of excessive discharge that she had, the sticky hair down there, the pain, the inflammation in her bladder, all
And the swelling.
signs of trauma. Sorry, Reagan?
The swelling.
The swelling. She was on an anti-inflammatory, an antibiotic, a pain medication. Yeah. And not to mention the obvious signs, not wanting to pick up her back end at all. extremely submissive. I mean, just submissive beyond belief. Submissive like a puppy should never be. That
and
submissive.
and she wouldn't walk.
And she wouldn't walk.
Lauren had to carry her everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah, everywhere. Carry her out to go to the bathroom, carry her back in, carry her over to her food bowl, her water bowl. She was carried everywhere.
And she, she's only like, what, 44, 45 pounds? But after a while, that gets heavy.
Yeah, Lauren could tell you that. She's like, man, my back's killing me. I mean, she's only 25, but it's still a lot of weight to carry around, as much as she had to be carried.
Now, so how did she go to the bathroom if you took her out and she went out and laid there, but she would go to the bathroom?
She wouldn't go to the bathroom. I think she only went pee once a day. And then after researching as much as I did, that has to do with the trauma, the swelling in the bladder area. And not to mention, Steve, the pain.
Yep. Now, one of the first things we had noticed was when that first night when we took her into, she sleeps in Lauren's room where Ollie usually does. And there were two rabbit cages in there with rabbits. And right away, even at that young age, that gave her purpose.
It did.
She turned into a guardian breed.
Yeah, she sure did. And she watches over those two little rabbits very well.
She has a job.
She does.
And then all of a sudden, now we're going to fast forward a little bit here. Then all of a sudden, she's out in the snow and she won't walk.
Mm.
And then I don't know what happened, but what's that all about? I thought you said she wouldn't walk.
Great job, Lauren. Great job.
Nice work.
Wow.
Nice work. That comes from, meeting a dog's needs as the needs arise. Is that correct?
Yeah, that day I took her outside and I became very brave. I took her off leash and I wanted to see how she would do. I felt, and I could have been wrong, but I felt that she wasn't secure enough. And I know we talked about that, Steve. I said, I felt like she wasn't secure enough to leave, but you said it could have went the opposite direction too. But I guess my instinct with it was correct because I took her off lead. She watched me for a minute and then she just took off running in the snow. And she was doing zoomies in the snow and running back and forth. And, she did her business. She would run up to me and jump up and, look for it. You could see her jumping up to me like she was just so happy. And I called her back in and she walked right in and she's been doing it ever since.
Now, just the day before was completely different, wasn't it?
Yes.
So, wow. And there's that gator. And here we are. We're working on getting her into the house. Huh? She's never walked into that house on her own, had she?
No, she has not.
And you happen to record this, video documented this. I like that. And here she comes. Good girl, Rue.
There's
You go, girl.
Good girl, Rue.
Oh, yeah. Now.
Good girl, Rue.
So is she doing better? I think she might be here a little bit. Now,
She's doing so much better. She's so, I said to Lauren tonight, I said, this little girl has so much personality, and she's so sweet. She's becoming a little mouthy now. She likes to chew on my knuckles. And then I was sitting on the bed and she was biting the back of my hair. But I still see so much trauma, walking into the room, she instantly lowers her head, and mistakenly lifting your hand, you had to put my glasses up. Her head instantly goes down. And another thing I noticed in her, Steve, is that when she's laying down on her side and you go to rub her belly or her side, she gives you the whale eye.
oh, okay.
So she's not real comfortable with your hand there.
Okay, well, we have a question, and that's going to be part of what this would be about. The question is, how long have you had her?
We've had her for a week?
What, 5 days?
Monday.
Since Monday.
Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Monday night.
Right.
So not even a week.
Yeah.
No.
And this says, so she still has a ways to go here. All right.
She
There's a
absolutely
long way
has
to
a
go,
ways to
'cause we still have a co-founder of the rescue, Ken, and we have Justin, your son, and she is definitely afraid of men.
Yes, she is afraid of men. I noticed that. No, Lauren cannot foster fail.
Hi, Rebecca. I'll fill you in on who Rebecca is in a little while.
She is afraid of men. When she does see a man, my husband or my son, she becomes completely submissive, overly submissive. And I mean, I'm sure Romy could probably tell you more about that.
She's laying down to die.
To me, it's definitely the trauma. I mean, it's also, I think it's a sexual trauma too. I mean, I know it is for human beings, so I would think could be for her too.
I would have to say that is the trauma.
Absolutely a trauma.
That would, I mean, did they beat on her and stuff? Well, yeah, probably. It wouldn't surprise me. Now, and at such a young age, she still has needle teeth, doesn't she?
She has all her baby teeth.
Yes.
She lost 2 teeth.
2 teeth.
And Lauren saved them.
Well, you should, and I will send you a container to save them in.
I thought that was cute.
Right?
She saved her baby.
A lot of people do that. So
Yeah, they do.
yes. Now, can you read that, Linda, or do I have to read that to you?
6 months old.
She went through much of what you're describing with one of her
Alright.
peers who came from a hoarding situation. He was 6 months old. We've had him for 2 years now, and the healing really is a process.
Yes, it definitely is going to be a process. I think that Rue is lucky because she has youth on her side. But I know that she's always going to have triggers and traumas, and I mean, do you ever get over that? Do you ever get over sexual abuse? I don't think so.
Well, I think you put it in that photograph just about right. The abuse is over.
Mm-hmm.
You are safe now.
The abuse part is over, but it's always in memory.
Yep.
It's like it's PTSD. I mean, I remember talking to Roman a year ago, and he told me, "Look, you just can't ever close the door on PTSD, and you don't close the door on that."
Nope. Now, could this have been stopped? Could this have been? Could somebody have picked out that this dog was being abused? What kind of signs would a dog show that the dog was being abused at the time, and what are other signs of dogs being abused? So, because if you see abuse, report abuse. Okay, simple as that. maybe if somebody would have stepped up and said, Mr. Policeman over at that house, man, can you do a welfare check or something? Okay. They will do this. All right. Sometimes, eventually.
I mean, there's the obvious signs. I mean, you pretty much know. I mean, physical abuse, you can see that. There's so many different signs of sexual trauma. I mean, you have prolapsed vagina. Some dogs are so sexually abused so badly that they have to be euthanized. There's the vaginal secretion, in inflammation of the bladder. There's ways doctors can tell if the dog's been abused. But then again, there are not always obvious outward physical signs.
Hi, Tina. We love Rue too, but I like the hashtag Rue Strong.
Me
I
too.
like that too, Tina.
Um, wow. So, Roman, what would an obvious sign, um, just of a dog like her that someone would be able to look at and say, man, there's a problem here? What would be an obvious sign that people can step up to the plate and be a dog's hero?
Well, thank you very much for opening that kind of worms. And I'm sorry for those people who have been through similar experiences. And thank you, Linda, for pointing it out too. As an abuse trauma survivor, says many of you, I've been through similar experiences, and so I know what to look for. And sometimes those signs are very subtle, and you need to trust your guts. Now, let me clarify one thing. It may be good intentions from any person to do something to the dog, and the dog take it the wrong way. For example, an alien visits you and wants to do some normal experiments, and you freak out while the alien has good intentions to learn more about you. So for the dogs, we are aliens. We're not the same species. We are sometimes not even in the same family. We're just strangers having a dog for a day or two, or temporary, or we send the dog somewhere to training or boarding. And that can cause a whole line of behavior issues and trauma issues. A simple trauma that can happen to a dog moving from one place to the other is simply relocation trauma. And some of you who are in the military or have been in multiple relocations, Linda has just moved around, knows exactly what I'm talking about. You are displaced, you're not in a safe place. And so your body is in a survival mode. So we need to be very careful how we see the dog's body language, and we have to see the context of it. If a dog is scared in a new place, it's justifiable response for the dog to be scared. If the dog is comfortable in the house and the dog is scared, is weird, right? So we always have to check the context. So if we do a home visit or we see a dog in a comfortable place where he is supposed to be outgoing and feeling safe, and a person picks up the glass and wants to drink and the dog runs off, it's obvious that something is wrong. Okay. Now, if a person like Linda is petting the dog and the dog is feeling well, then we can see that's not a trauma. It doesn't mean the dog doesn't have trauma. So, in order to see the trauma, we need to kind of go to that edge of a trigger. For example, listening to a traumatic story as humans trigger us into this fear response. We start crying, we are empathetic. Okay, we can use our imagination, or some of us have that experience. If you see a dog responding fearfully if you do something else to another dog, that is sure indication that the dog has witnessed domestic violence. If your husband is hugging you and the dog starts being reactive, meaning is the dog has been in domestic violence environment. So from a behavior perspective, we can run a couple of tests and see what is the image the dog perceives from that situations that we consider regular, like people hugging each other, right? Some dogs get concerned. They don't see what that is, right? They feel like they're going to fight each other. People are sometimes like, I'm Greek and I talk loud, and my wife tells me, "Why are you yelling?" I'm not yelling. Um, we see the dog starts cowering and being fearful. We can definitely see that the dog already starts associating a certain emotional picture with a certain outcome of that event. So dogs are very sensitive, just like children. And if we see trauma, we have to see it from a child's perspective. There is
Now,
no logic behind that.
what I was talking about was, here's a perfect example. Look at her ear position. Her mouth is open. Her eyes are gentle.
Yep,
Okay.
that looks comfortable to me.
Yeah. And I wouldn't think for a second that that dog was being abused. You know why?
No.
She's not. She didn't look like that when she was at that other house. I can just pretty much guarantee that, because her ears weren't perked the first time I saw her. She wasn't curious and looking around. The first time I saw her,
Right.
she was in
Yep.
survival mode, if you may.
Yep.
Okay. And unfortunately, the way she was abused, she gave up. She was ready to die. She wasn't looking to retreat.
I was afraid she was shutting down, Steve.
Yes.
I was scared.
Yeah. And then we started noticing a soft touch was really going a long way. Okay. And so if you see a dog with that is walking away from the owner on the leash, and maybe his butt's away from the owner, that's just a sign that there could be something going on there. Is that right, Roman? Is
Yes.
that one of the signs we can look for?
Yeah. But again, we have to be very careful to not misinterpret and mis put the dog in a misconception that the dog is trauma because I see one signal. We have to see a variety of signals and in the context, right? So the term helplessness is a great term, and sometimes if look at there, like I gotta touch you both. And the term helplessness in behavior modification in trauma, it's a very important factor. I would actually put the concept passiveness. The dog is passively interacting with the environment. He's not being engaging. He doesn't want to interact. He stays out of it. And so the trauma does not have to be always physical. It could be emotionally. Or the dog can experience trauma through observing trauma. That makes sense? So in regards to that particular dog, to hashtag, what was the
All right.
hashtag again?
Hashtag GPRM. I just wanted to
No,
make
the
sure.
hashtag.
Oh, okay. All right. Remember, there's viewer discretion advised here. Now, also, too, remember, if you see abuse, report abuse. If you suspect abuse and you report it and there is no abuse, that owner should thank you for being aware.
And I think it's really important, like Reagan said earlier today, I think it's really important to discuss the elephant in the room, which is bestiality. I mean, people have to understand, even though it's our first time dealing with such a thing, it's not the first time it's happened. And from what I found out from my own research, it happens quite often. It's, I mean, the laws are, in the state of Missouri, I'm speaking for the state of Missouri, that, any kind of sexual abuse with an animal is just a Class A misdemeanor.
The first time.
The first time. So,
Yeah.
Everybody gets to do it the first time. It's a Class A misdemeanor. What's that? It's nothing. That's the law, like it or not. That's just the way it is. But, I talked to someone that deals with this, and do you know that she gets 2-3 calls a week from people whose dogs have been molested by a human being, it's not uncommon, people. It's really not. I mean, when it happened here, I thought, oh man, gosh, who do I even talk to? Who's been through this? Quite a few.
When you
I give
told
you
me
an
about that,
example.
I had no words.
I give you an
Me
example.
neither.
In
Yeah.
Greece, for example, I grew up in Greece. In the military, it's common practice to do this to animals.
Mhm.
In herding areas for people who are herds up, who are doing herding work, it's
Yes.
common practice. Why? Because they're alone. Is it an excuse? No. Is it good? No. So philia is actually a term. It's going back in the ancient times. It was kind of common practice, but it's not a good practice. It's actually considered illness. It's a mind illness, and that's why the FBI is really hard on this kind of stuff because he knows if you can do this to to a dog without having that mindset, you will do it to people as well.
I
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's a superstar now.
So, are you
Um,
guys? I found a couple of indications, and I want, if it's okay with you, to share it on the screen so we can go quick over it. If that's okay with you guys?
I'm
Yes.
good.
Okay. So
Yes.
let me share the screen here. I'll make it pretty quick. Oh, here we go. So,
You're not sharing.
Mm-hmm.
how about now?
Just a second. Let me help you out. How's that? Whoops.
Did I share it? I think I shared it.
I don't see it.
Oh yeah, why not?
Add the stream. How about
There
that?
you go. Thank you, sir.
Doggy
Okay,
language.
exactly. Hold on, I need to find where I am right now. Share screen.
You're in Oregon.
I know.
Well,
I
you
need
just
to.
said you had. I was just trying to help.
Oh, here you go. So, alert is good. Okay, kind of, sort of. Suspicious, anxious. So if we look into body language that is concerning, in that case, is a Boston Terrier. Sorry, we don't have a white dog on a white screen. Anxious is what we're looking for. Threatened is what we're looking for. Angry, what we're looking for. Pace. Okay, sometimes the dog just walks away or looks away. Stressed, ears. You see those ears setting up different. Very stressed. Lots of lip licking. Every time a person does something, the dog, shakes it off or feels stressed. Sniffing on the ground is one trigger. You can always see if the dog sees a situation, you're picking up something, and the dog's sniffing on the floor. That's what it is. Respect, kind of, sort of, but respect comes also with fear. If you see the little leg on the bottom of it, the leg is lifted. Let me show you at the beginning a little bit. Right, that means the dog doesn't feel comfortable. That little leg on the bottom. The next thing we look for is need space, and the dog walks away and kind of gives you whale eyes.
The
Stalking,
whale eye is important.
right? Stalking
Mm-hmm.
means the dog stops moving and staring at what he perceives as a trauma trigger, right? So stalking is not just for border collies. Any dog who has trauma will do that. Stress is also itching. Many people says, "Oh, my dog is itchy. He has fleas." No, maybe he's just very stressed. But one thing you will see once the event is over, the dog will make eventually a stress relief, and that will be a shaking it off. So if some people pick up a beer can and then stop the beer can, put it on the table, and dog shakes it off, which means the dog has been through a PTSD response. Okay. What also thing you will see is some dogs would just walk away and turn their back. They don't want to deal with it. Now, one other thing that many people misinterpret is friendly and polite licking. Okay, it's not "I love you" always. It's most likely, "Please do less of what you do. I try to lick you to calm you down so you don't do more of that." Right? So we know this guilty look. It's basically making big eyes, which is known. Even Disney used that particular idea of to make you feel pity of that animal that is in front of you. Okay. Now, "I'm a love bug" is not that indication that just pet me, meaning is I'm going in a submissive situation just like his dog did, and I'm offering my body to you so you don't kill me. It comes with a context, right? If a tail is wagging, it's different than a whale is not wagging. And if the head is turned away or the turn is facing you, make sense?
Yep.
So that I wanted to share
Now,
as a
Roman, there's a question.
yes.
Virginia wants to know if the graphic that says peace, does that mean the dog is at peace?
I would
You took the
some
screen share away.
I know. I would say the some websites, and this one is one of the better ones, have a very good explanation of certain terms. I don't agree with all of them. I see it from a behavioral perspective, not as a visual perspective. If a person scratches his ears in an interview, it's not because he has fleas, right? There's another context to that. If a person chews on his nail, it's not because he's hungry. There's a context to that. So I would be very careful. But this one is one of the better ones. That's why I shared it.
Now, is that Lori's house or is that Linda's house?
No, that's my house.
Okay.
Rue decided to go get down and go to the door where Ollie is.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You know that this is a dog show, so dog barking is okay, right? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
You
Now,
have no choice.
I want to go back to Rue's abuse.
Yes.
This is a Great Pyrenees, probably Akbash Maremma, but guardian breed.
Mhm.
All right. The guardian breeds are mighty. Okay. If this, what would have happened if Rue was an adult and somebody tried to do this to her? There is that possibility that she would have said no. And somebody would have gotten bitten and they would have called animal control and they said the dog attacked me, and then the dog gets blamed for her stopping abuse. Okay.
Mhm.
So if you see abuse, report abuse, because either way the dog suffers. Okay.
Um,
Um,
are you guys able to listen to one little story that exactly answers that thing that you just said? Um, in Oregon, a couple of months ago, I was dealing with a client who his dog was very aggressive in the kennel. Steve may have seen the video. And I was very suspicious about that behavior because it didn't make any sense. The body language and the dog feeling safe was not compared appropriately towards the parent who's supposed to feel comfortable with. And so my red flags went up. So I was trying to put some little questions, and you have to be very careful. For people who are abusive to their animals are also abusive to their people. And so I didn't want the person who was in their house to become victim of my questions. So I was very careful to place those questions. For example, how do you guys interact with each other? How you do let your dog out? What is the process? What's the procedure, right? Let them tell you the story without asking too many questions. So my conclusion was that this person, because he was handicapped, he was beating the dog with his crutch,
Team.
right?
Hmm.
And that crutch, basically, every time the dog saw the person with the crutch coming up the kennel, he went ballistic. So this person, of course, starts accusing the dog for that behavior. But I took the dog out of the kennel, and he was totally fine with me,
Yeah.
right? Long story short, I was trying to rescue the dog. I put rescues in place. It was only about him making the decision to give up the dog so we could also help the other person in the household. Everything was set up correctly, and another trainer comes in and start working with the dog, use a shock collar on that dog, right? And all of a sudden, the whole situation went out of control. This person takes the dog out for a walk. He attacks him on the street, police intervention, and they shoot the dog to help the person. So things can escalate pretty much with an adult dog doing this kind of aggressive and abusive handling. It always ends bad. There is no good ending towards the person who does abuse handling a dog.
That's correct. Suzanne thinks that Rue should be the poster dog for this type of abuse.
Well,
Well, I feel that would be something to consider, raising awareness to that.
and that was really important to us I mean, we as a rescue always want to raise awareness. Even if it is a touchy, graphic subject like this, it still needs to be talked about. people need to know that this is something that happens. First time for us, hopefully the last time for us, but it happens. And it happens often. And, you know, I can't speak a lot on the laws, but, you know, they are what they are. You know, we just have to, you know, I know someone was upset with the graphic post that Reagan had written, but if she didn't write it the way that she did, you know, turning our heads to something like this changes nothing.
No. And,
Don't turn your head to anything. And no matter how hard it is to watch or read or look at, it's happening. How bad do you think it is for the dog? You're just reading about it. How bad do you think it is for them? Or to
There
the
are
person
people in
caring?
the house who could also be victims of that particular person doing that particular thing to the dog.
Well, that was in it. I mean, just for behavioral point, Roman, this dog came from a home where there were children being molested, and, you know, I'm sure domestic violence, and there was domestic violence, and there was also a lot of drug use.
Drug abuse. Yes.
Yes.
and I guess that's a given. It's not surprising. Now, if you do run into a situation where you do report some suspected abuse, don't go up there half-cocked. Go up there with your crap together. Okay, facts, and that way they will be more interested in. Okay, let's go check this out. And yes, ma'am, Lori, you raised your hand. I like that.
I'm in class. Is there anything that can be done, Linda? Can you go after this person if you know anything?
No, Lori, the only thing I can say on that, and I'll make this very brief, is that all the calls and the paperwork and the assessments are all in place, have been sent over and is being investigated.
Okay.
And I took care of all of that. What
Okay.
happens from this point forward is up to the law, not me as a rescue. I can't prosecute, I can't enforce laws, but I can report them.
Just like everybody can.
Yes.
So
And
We
sad.
don't
they
hold
were-
any- we
and they
don't
were
put any more
absolutely
weight
reported.
than anybody else. All right.
Mhm.
It's how you present it, and it means a lot.
You know, you go through, it's like you kind of go through like a grief process. You know, you see it, you're shocked, you don't know what you're looking at, and then once you do, you cry because it's so sad. And then you are just blinded with rage. And then it goes to, you know, it's what me and Reagan were talking about today. Then it goes to, I have to focus on Rue. I'm going to let the law do what they need to do to take care of this. I gave them everything that they need, but my focus is on Rue and getting her better and her through this.
And that's our job. That's your job.
Yes.
That's the
That's
rescue.
my job. Yes.
We're a village, and so the anger and the hurt, the frustration, that's all directed to helping Rue. I mean, she's not angry at Rue. Don't get me wrong, but you can rechannel all of your energy to that way. And I did want to bring one other little thing up that I don't know if that animation, that paper said it or not. Tail wagging. Just because the dog's tail's wagging does not mean they're happy.
Mhm.
It means their body has been stimulated by something. Okay. So let's just always remember that, because your dog can be at a fence trying to eat another dog and his tail's just wagging like crazy. All right. So,
You know, back to the sexual abuse part of this, Steve, Reagan and I, for the past week, 5 days, have done nothing but research. You know, we both said that this is the last thing we ever wanted to have to look up or study or read. You know, if you look it up, there are actually 3 types of sexual abuse, three categories of people that sexually abuse animals. And I'll tell you, today I read about the sadistic part of this, sadistic predator, and that's what I'll call them. I won't call them a human being, a predator to me. I'll tell you, Steve, I said to Reagan, I'm like, I can't read it yet. I couldn't read it. It's so god awful. I mean, I just can't believe that things are still happening like this.
It's
to these
disturbing.
animals. Very,
Rebecca,
very disturbing.
Rebecca wants to
Yeah.
know how we found out about Ruth.
Well, the reason we have Rue is because Reagan had a conversation, and Reagan, you can touch on that.
She was surrendered to us by the owner. I'm not exactly sure how much I can touch on, Linda.
She was
Well-
on surrender. That's how we got her.
Yeah, she was surrendered to
legally.
us, yes.
Yeah.
So answer that.
But you know, she wasn't surrendered to us very easily, Steve.
No.
We kind of knew that, you know, how we got her, and I haven't kept this a secret. We went to go get her the first time, and
Mm-hmm.
she didn't come. The lady didn't come with her.
She
So
didn't show up.
we don't know if there's even a dog, if this is a scam. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But Reagan or I both couldn't get her out of our head. So I said, unfortunately, for someone that's on drugs or whatever, there's one thing you can offer them is money, and rescues don't pay for dogs,
Yeah.
you know, but we paid for her because we knew she had to get out of that situation.
There's those signs we were talking about. They got her out.
We got her out. And thank God we did.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's a lot to Rue's story that we can't discuss or talk about,
not yet.
you know, but thank God that this baby is sitting next to us on this couch right now. That's all I can say.
You saved her life.
Because there's a lot of dogs, Steve, that this person had that did not meet the same met a fate that we don't know about or want to know about or even think
We don't know where they are.
you. And most of
That's
them were pit bulls.
That's right. And that's hard. We can't do this by ourselves. We need everybody's help. We need the public. You don't have to volunteer for the rescue. Pay attention. Okay? Pay attention. All right. We've given you some information on signs to look for. Don't be afraid to report it. It's okay if you're wrong. At least you covered it. But that time that you're right, you're going to be a dog's hero. Whether you know it or not, you're going to be a dog's hero. So, and then you go on to the next one, and the next one, and you may never have the opportunity, but there could be that one time, and that's all it takes. So, wow.
Does she have a video, Steve? Does Rue have a video set up?
Yeah, I was thinking about, yes, we do. And what I was thinking was, instead of our normal exit video, I was going to play that for the exit. Or unless you want me to play it now.
And
Yeah, let's see.
Sharon,
Let's see.
Sharon
Let's
would
play.
like us to share the link to donate.
Oh, that's up to you guys. Oh, shoot, I've got it right here. Duh.
Yeah, we have the link.
All right. Now you can't click it unless you maybe have a touch monitor, but
There you
it
go.
says sponsoring, but it's GPRescue.com/donate. And while you're there, if you want, you can sponsor a dog too to go with it. Rue, you might build.
Sharon has fostered many dogs.
Foster failed, you mean?
Yes.
And once again, no, Lauren is not going to foster fail with Rue. So
No. We love Rue, and we're always going to be a part of Rue, but we're not the family for Rue. There's a family out there for her.
Roxanne, you're absolutely right. You rather call and be safe and maybe save a life than not call.
That's right, Roxanne. Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
So one thing I can say that Ruth is really a well-mannered dog, considering what she has been through.
She got a
Most
big
of
butt
the
too. Look,
Most of the dogs
got a big
are
booty.
not. Most of the dogs are not so well behaved, but either way, there is a way to help those dogs, and it has to be structured. And only feeling pity and only feeling sorry for the dogs would not get them out of that black box they're in. It needs to be with multiple aspects to be helped the dog out of that box, and that needs structure. And so Linda already has good skills. Linda has already experience with these dogs, and she has natural gift because she's tapping into that and she's emotionally intelligent. She can feel what's going on with the dog and do the right thing at the right time. But not many
like
of us
how you
have
put
those
that.
kids.
Yeah, because I always tell her, "Wow, you were listening to this." All right. I don't see any more questions, but thank you for donations. Everyone that's donated, thank you, because that's what makes all of this possible is donations. Okay. Without that, we don't have it. Now, we're getting towards the end of the show, and we have a drawing to do, and we have a dog to catch, right? You have something to add, Linda, before we move forward?
No, I was just waiting for you to play Rue's video.
I know.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Let me see my baby.
The boss has spoken, okay? Let me find it right here. There it is.
Wow, great video.
Moment of
That was
silence.
great.
Thank you, Laurie. Now, you know, that particular tune we used in there, we that's designed to be used for the tributes, okay, on the dogs that have passed. And we felt that it was fitting. We've used that on 2 dogs that are living now. Let's make it to where we don't have to do that anymore. Okay. We want the happy tunes with our dogs.
Yeah, we're getting tired of that tune.
We're getting tired of that song. Okay. We're going to go back to using that as our tribute song. All right. And we think it's a good one. Now, that video's up on YouTube. All right. Just go to YouTube, Great Pyrenees Rescue of Missouri. There's a lot of videos up there. shows are up there. We're streaming to it. I've noticed that we've got folks on watching from all 8 of our destinations that we're streaming to. All right. And
Worldwide.
I'm sorry?
Worldwide.
Worldwide.
Okay. Now, here we go. Hashtag GPRM. You got until I bring this up. Let's go ahead and let's do our drawing, and then we got an amazing show for next week, don't we? All right.
Yes, we do.
I'm going to read a couple of these. There we go. Oh, sorry. That's made for awareness. Okay. I didn't mean to put you in tears. We didn't. That wasn't our intent. Unless it makes you pay attention now, then that was our intent. So, yes, it was a moving video because Rue is a very, very moving, very emotional. This entire case is emotional. So, anyway, all right, everybody ready to do the drawing? I think it's time. Nancy. Wow.
Awesome.
That Nancy.
Congratulations, Nancy.
Nancy won the Bark Box. Wow, Nancy. That's all right. Congratulations. Okay.
Nancy is the winner.
We are going to draw again. Nancy can't win a second time. All right. So if Nancy's name comes up again, I'm going to send you a caller just for the heck of it because you came up 2 times in a row. But the second drawing is for what again, Roman?
A free class tomorrow. Okay. In my workshop, I put the link in the comments so you guys can check it out.
Okay.
It's tomorrow, 3 to 5 o'clock Pacific time.
All right. So, Nancy, you know how to get a hold of me. I need your shipping address. Oh, wait a minute. All right. I'm going to send you a caller and $5 to quit entering. Okay. All right. Let's try this again. Sorry, Nancy, you can't get the class. I don't know. Okay.
There you go.
Hey,
Congratulations.
There you go.
congratulations, Ara.
Yes. All right. I didn't want to say your name because I didn't want to blow your pronunciation and then get beat up. All right. I'm getting tired of getting beat up by girls. All right. So
Ara is also family to Great Pyrenees Rescue, Missouri.
okay. Cool.
She's
Well,
one
she
of our
wins
founders and
a
our
session
doctors.
and she wins a class with Roman. What does she do? Oh, the link is in the comments, right, Roman?
Yep, check it out. Last call tomorrow, 3 o'clock. It's too late.
Okay. And by the way, Nancy, probably have to contact Linda on that Bark Box, not me. I don't mail the
Yeah,
box.
Nancy, send me an email, linda@gprescue.com.
Hey, I got that in here too. You want me to put that up so everybody has it, Linda? There it is. Right there, Nancy. That's where you send it. Okay, next week's show. I have a preview video that we put together. Let's just see what we got here. Wow, that's pretty cool. Founders of 4 different rescues. Naturally, Linda will be on. What's the matter?
She's getting up on the furniture.
Oh, I thought dogs weren't allowed on furniture at your house.
Yeah, they're not. That's why she just went and laid on the bed.
Okay. So Great Pyrenees Rescue Society, Melissa's going to be here. Peer Rescue and Sanctuary in Colorado, Judith is going to be here. Great Pyrenees Rescue Montana, Carol is going to be here. And that's going to be a good show, isn't it, Linda? Oh,
Yeah,
Linda's
that's gonna be fun.
Linda's going to be here. So get you, and we're working on streaming the show to the Great Pyrenees Rescue Society Facebook page also. So for that show at least. So that's what we have up our sleeve for next week. All right. That's 4 markets. That's a lot of Great Pyrenees that are people work with, and these are friends of ours. Okay. I mean,
All great rescues.
they're all great rescues. There's none better than the other because we all do the same thing.
Run by great women.
Run by great women. Absolutely. So, there we have it. Our show's over. Wow. It's already been 1 hour and 7 minutes. So, okay, everybody. Since I played Ruth's video, we're going to do our normal exit video. And don't forget our YouTube channel. If you want to grab Ruth's link for her video, it's up there. Betty's up there on her original video. There's a lot of videos on our YouTube channel, Great Pyrenees Rescue of Missouri YouTube. So, okay, everybody, you have a great night, and see you next week.
Thank you, guys.